Hey folks, welcome back to My Kitten Reads. I'm Eleanor and this is a mid-year goals check-in. Since it's now July, I thought I'd have a check and see how I am doing with my goals for the year. Yeah. So overall, not as well as I would hope. Oh dear. But anyway, I did look at the actual numbers and so I'll let you know what I am doing. So my total goal for the year is 120 books as usual. Or books, stories, etc., etc. I am halfway there. I am at 60%, although because we're actually into, sorry, not 60%, 60 books. Although we are actually into July now, which means I'm technically, according to Goodreads / Storygraph, 2 books behind schedule. So I should probably try and get a wriggle on. But I am essentially on track for my usual goal of 120 things read in the year. So where I'm not doing so well is my usual diversity goals. So books written by writers who are not Caucasian and books with either main or fairly significant queer characters. And by queer characters, I'm taking in the full spectrum of, gay, lesbian, bi, transgender, ace, intersex, all of those things that tend to fall under that umbrella of LGBTQIA plus or queer for short. So yeah. So for both of those categories, not doing as, because my usual goal is to do better than the previous year. So in terms of authors that are not Caucasian, last year I read 16, which was actually down on the year before, but I'm supposed to be reading more than 16 this year. I've read 4. Oh dear. I do have at least one more underway. But yeah, I really need to pick up my game. So yeah, that's a thing. And in terms of, I'm doing a little better on queer, sort of, in that I've read more, but also the goal is higher. Because last year I read 24 books with significant queer characters. And I have so far read 7. So, so yeah, the second half of the year, I really need to pick things up. I'm hoping that given the shortlist, once I get really into my Hugo reading, that will help. But yes, I need to pick up my game on my diversity of reading this year. There have been too much whiteness and too much straightness. So yay, I need to do that. Where I am doing a little better is some of my sort of ongoing goals. So in terms of series, you know me, I have a lot of series on the go and I have actually added one more to the list. But I am generally I am doing quite well. So so far this year, I have read the newest Franny Fisher book, so that is still up to date, that series. I have read another Glamorous Histories novel, so I've now read 3 out of the 5. I finished the Gail Carriger universe. So in terms of series that are actually on my list, that is the Custard Protocol series, which is the 4 books. So I finally finished that, but I actually finished the entire universe. So that includes a whole bunch of novellas and stuff as well. So I'm really pleased to have finished that. What else? I read the newest Wayward Children novella, so that's up to date. I read 2 stories, 1 short and 1 novel in the new series that I've stuck on my list, which is I'm calling it the Alternate Cairo series. I'm not sure if it's actually got a name, but it's the Peter Gilly Clarke series. So yeah, so that's pretty much up to date, I think. I read another Murderbot, so I have now read the first 4 novellas. The novel comes next, I believe. So I've made a little bit of progress on that. I made a little bit of progress on Tiffany Aching in reading. I've read 1 more novel and I have started the 4th one, but I had to put it down for various reasons. But I have made progress. I have read 2 more October Day novels. So I have read the first 3 of those now. And I have started the 4th one. And I read another novel and another novella in the Encrypted series by Shannon Maguire as well. So, and I do actually have the most recent book sitting on my shelf waiting to be read, Calculated Risks. So I am doing quite well and keeping up to date on the Encrypted series. So series I'm doing quite well. Uncanny Magazine, I am also doing quite well because I have read 8 issues of Uncanny Magazine so far this year. So I'm almost up to date. I'm currently in the middle of issue 40 and issue 41 has just come out. Which is the July-August issue. So yeah, I am doing really well on Uncanny Magazine, so that's great. And then my new goal for this year was to read nonfiction because I only read one nonfiction piece last year. So yeah. And in terms of this, it depends on what the metric is. So I started the year with 18 nonfiction books on my physical TBR. I don't think I've actually read any of those. However, I have read 6 nonfiction books. So it occurred to me that nonfiction, given how much I like listening to podcasts, nonfiction might work better for me as audiobooks. So most of the nonfiction, not quite, there is one physical one, but most of the nonfiction I've read this year has been on audiobook, and that's working quite well for me. So in terms of goals, I'm reading more nonfiction, so that's good. I haven't actually taken any nonfiction books off my physical TBR though, because I think the one that I read was one that I actually ordered this year. So I don't think it's getting bigger, but the TBR isn't actually going down because I'm reading them via audio, which means they're not the ones that are actually on my TBR. So I should probably change that. I think I did start one that is on my TBR. I just haven't gone back to it. No, I started 2 because I started the Mark Webber autobiography and didn't get very far. And I started a book about Australian women, so they're technically off the TBR, but they haven't got very far with them yet. So, but yes, I really need to, so those goals, series, Uncanny, definitely going well. I'd say nonfiction is going well in that I am reading nonfiction. But the diversity goals need to pick up. I need to pick up my pace. So, yeah, I need to think about that for the next 6 months. But yeah, so those are my goals for 2020, and that's where I'm up to halfway through the year. Yeah, if you want to talk about your goals, if you want to talk about how you achieve your goals in reading, comment down below, subscribe, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye.